Oh my gosh!
Fiend-like and loathsome. It darted like a stupendous monster.
What, that thing has legs? Okay, I don't want to do this, but I gotta jump. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Steven, and we're playing Dagon? I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm gonna call it Dagon. Hair's kind of crazy, you know, just woke up, that's whatever. This is a horror game. I think this is like a horror game, like a story. I don't really know what's going on. Yeah, guys, without further ado, let's get to this thing. Let's go. Okay, here it is. Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on a story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along the plot.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more. Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Hey, don't jump, bro. Don't do it. Oh, okay,
do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am.
Jeez, this is loud. Hold up.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Okay, start writing.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
It's like a point and click kind of game, guys.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
Hey, the sky.
So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Okay. Walking towards the ship right here.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Okay, we'll be escaping.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Yeah, geez, this is terrifying. I don't mess with the sea, y'all.
Never a competent navigator,
Ocean,
I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Oh,
the weather
whoa.
kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land. But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
What? What changed?
Its details I shall never know.
Huh?
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Whoa! Hey, yo! Whoa! What's going on right now? Is that a squid?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Oh, what?
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Where am I? Why is it so flat here?
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation
what's going
would
on,
be of
yo?
wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Yeah, you should be.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding
what is
from
happening
the
right now?
of
Wait.
the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight.
Look at this. Like,
save
what
the
is
vast
happening?
reach of black
Where am
slime.
I?
Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity
what is
of the
that?
landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Bro, get me out of here, dude.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me
Look, I can
almost
zoom in.
black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
I don't like these animals. Or whatever, the aliens. These aren't even animals, bro. What am I stepping on, too?
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
What, you're in hell?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
What is that moving? Look at it! Bro, this is the ocean floor?
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Okay, there's a fish. I recognize this fish.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Okay.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Let me take my bag with me.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Yeah, let's leave this place. I got nothing else to do here. Step over that squid.
All day
my
I
gosh.
forged steadily westward.
What are these
guided by
animals?
a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
Okay, let's keep going. Keep walking. Keep walking. Alright.
That night,
gosh.
I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Jeez. I don't really know what's happening, guys. I thought I was in a room. I was in a room like 4 minutes ago.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Yeah, I usually how they
An
get you.
intervening valley setting it out in
What is
sharper
that?
relief from the general
Glowing right
surface.
there.
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Jeez.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
Okay, so now I'm climbing the mountain.
Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Alright, let me grab my thing. There we go.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Whoa! It's just an empty, like, plain?
I felt myself on the edge of the world,
Bro.
peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal
Oh my
night.
gosh.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Oh, a rock down there. See how far it is.
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Jeez.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded
Oh my.
fairly easy footholds for a descent.
I'm going down, bro. Why am I going down?
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred
I guess
feet,
I'm not doing anything
the
else.
declivity became very gradual.
Okay, I'm going down this thing. Alright. Dude, I'm about to see something crazy down here.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath,
Whoa.
gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
Jeez.
All at once, my attention was
what is
captured
this?
by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose
Yeah, it's
steeply
like a block.
about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Great storytelling, by the way. Jeez.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Can't be. Look at how perfect that block is.
A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Hey, some water.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps
Whoa, those
that
symbols?
hemmed in the chasm.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening right now?
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith,
Cyclopean? I don't even know that word.
on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Look at it, look at it. Okay. There's like whales here. And I don't know what this is. There's some squids or something, mermaids, the sea, more animals, and then this thing.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world,
Yeah, I've never seen these things, bro.
but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound. Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a
Oh, there's
Doré.
the thing, the
I think that these things were supposed to depict men,
block.
at least a certain sort of men. Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the
Yeah,
waters of some marine
I
grotto,
said mermaids. But
or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
what is that?
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall.
These things are not
Curiously
fun to
enough,
look at.
they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as
Oh my
being little
gosh!
larger than himself. I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
No, there's no way that thing is as
but
big
in
as a
moment
whale. You
decided
know how
that they
big
were
whales
merely
are?
The some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
Saw what? Saw what? What is happening?
With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface,
Whoa, whoa,
the thing
whoa!
slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh my gosh!
Fiend-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monstrosity.
What, that thing has legs?
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured
Bro, I gotta hide!
I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Bro, I'm going back up. Jeez, I am a soldier. See, if it was me, I wouldn't be doing all this, bro.
I sang a great
I would have just
deal,
given up. I don't even know where this
laughed oddly
is.
when I was unable to sing. I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the
It's
boat.
raining.
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
What? I'm at a hospital?
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Bro, I got saved?
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
These graphics are insane, guys. Look, you can see like dust in the air.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon is how you say it. Fish god. Okay.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries. It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Damn.
So now, I am to end it all.
No, don't do that.
In the full account for the information, or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Okay, I'm about to...
Often, I ask myself if it could not
What'd I just
all
drink?
have been a pure phantasm,
Is it morphine?
a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Oh my gosh! What is happening? Bro, it's like Godzilla?
The end is near.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't say all that. Don't say all that now.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Hey, yo, you can't come in, my boy. I'm sorry. I'm a little busy right now. Bro, I even got the door blocked off.
It shall not find me.
Oh, and that didn't matter anyways.
God, That hand.
Jump out the window, jump out the window! Okay, guys.
The window.
Yes, the window, the window! Okay, I don't want to do this, but I gotta jump. I gotta jump.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
Alright, guys. Looks like that was Dagon. Crazy story right there. It says there's DLCs and stuff like that. If you guys like these kind of games, let me know in the comments below. I'm not used to playing games like these where it's just like kind of narrated, like a story. Not much gameplay there, but if you guys enjoyed, if you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see for more content. See you guys next one. Peace.